The book I have today is called Spoon. It's by Amy Krauss Rosenthal and Scott Magoon. This author, Amy Rosenthal, has a number of books that I'm going to read to you. And I think you'll notice the theme between them. So remember, your job as a listener is to be thinking about what I am reading for you. I'll do the words. You do the thinking, make some personal connections, maybe some text to text. Remember we did a letter T, text to text connections. If you've seen something like that in another book, a personal connection. This character reminds me of a character already from a movie that I'm sure you guys all know. That would be a movie to text connection. Here's the back. Oh, those guys. Spoon. This is Spoon. This is Spoon's family. The differences in those family members. Big tall soup ladle. That's kind of got a fork spoon in it. They're all spoons, but they all look a little bit different. Kind of like our families, right? On Sundays, Spoon goes to visit his Aunt Silver. He has to be on his very best behavior there. She's very fancy and proper. Goodbye, darling. Ta-ta! Lots of full spread pictures. You need both parts to see the whole picture. At bedtime, Spoon likes to hear the story about his adventurous great-grandmother who fell in love with a dish and ran off to a distant land. Definitely a text to text. Lately, though, Spoon has been feeling blue. What's wrong? Asked his mother. You look a little bent out of shape. Nothing, mumbled Spoon. It's just, I don't know. All my friends have it so much better than me. Like Knife. Knife is so lucky. He gets to cut. He gets to spread. I never get to cut or spread. Yes, Knife is pretty spiffy that way, isn't he? And Fork. Fork is so lucky. She gets to go practically everywhere. I'll bet she never goes stir crazy like I do. Fork does get out and make herself useful, doesn't she? Got the things Fork does. And Chopsticks, they're so lucky. Everyone thinks they're really cool and exotic. No one thinks I'm cool or exotic. Those Chopsticks are something else, aren't they? Meanwhile, if only Spoon knew that what his friends were saying at this very minute. Spoon is so lucky, said Knife. He's so fine and easygoing. Everyone's so serious with me. No one's allowed to be silly with me like they are with Spoon. Spoon is so lucky, said Fork. He gets to measure stuff. Nobody ever does that with me. Huh. Oh, look at that, guys. Knife likes what Spoon does. Fork likes what Spoon does. Spoon likes what Fork and Knife do. Spoon is so lucky, said Chopsticks. He can go places by himself. We could never function apart. That night, after story times, Oh, sorry. That night, after bedtime stories, Spoon's mom turned off the light, tucked him in, and said, "You know, Spoon, I wonder if you realize how lucky you are. Your friends will never know the joy of diving headfirst into a bowl of ice cream." They'll never know what it feels like to clink against the side of a cereal bowl. They'll never be able to twirl around in a mug or relax in a hot cup of tea. Spoon hadn't thought of it that way before. He lay awake in bed for a long time. His mind was racing. He felt so alive. There was only one thing to do. "I can't sleep. Come, Snuggle. Come, Spoon." And so he did. Sweet dreams. I wonder if any of you guys have felt that way, where you thought one of your friends was doing something cooler than what you could do. And I wonder if you ever realized, maybe your parents have helped you realize, that you're really interesting in your own way. I love Spoon.